everyone, my name's Jacqueline, and for this presentation we will be looking at Rocko's modern life static cling from a postmodernist perspective, with a particular focus on the self-reflexive references in the metanarrative which comment on the revival of old animations. Rocko's Modern Life was a cartoon series originally released in the 90s centred around an Australian wallaby called Rocko, who has immigrated to America. Designed for both adults and children, the show satirizes everyday life in suburban USA, with particular reference to capitalism's dominating effect over urban society. While the show officially ended in 1996, in 2019 they released a new movie called Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling. After being stuck in space for 20 years, the movie picks up where the show left off, with Rocko and his friends finally returning to Earth. However, life here has significantly changed, and Rocko struggles to adjust to this new world, especially once he realizes that his favourite TV show, Fatheads, has gone off the air. Rocko decides to try and get the show rebooted, even tracking down the show's original creator, Ralph. While the reboot does go ahead, a baby gets added, and this still outrages Rocko, who claims it's now a completely different show. Like most of today's animation, static cling is a form of postmodern artwork, as demonstrated by its comedic style and the vast amount of self-reflexivity and hidden reference. Postmodernism can be defined as the abandonment of distinctions between high art and low culture. There is a tendency to challenge traditional ideas while maintaining a sense of playfulness. This often involves the use of pluralism, parody, and multi-layered reference, and artworks in this category try not to take anything too seriously. As an art form, animations have historically been seen as being of lesser quality than traditional art. In this sense, static cling challenges traditional ideas of what art is in a playful way and abandons the traditional distinctions between high and low art. It also challenges our views around modern animation styles through the parodying of the modern animation industry. In fact, static cling is full of parodies and references. Some examples of this include the O-Phone, which has society racing out to buy the latest release, and O-Tube, which some characters make a large part of their lives, either as a viewer or content creator. Another great example is BuzzBucks, which appears to be on every street corner. Likewise, there are many pop culture references in static clings, for example the Star Wars style opening. Static cling also references things from the real world, such as the 20-year gap between the series and the movie. The most notable example of parody and reference in static cling is Conglomo, which references the big corporations whose primary focus is profit, and it parodies corporate culture and consumerism. This reference is critical for the metanarrative. A metanarrative is where one narrative contains all the others. For static cling, the metanarrative is a self-reflexive comment on how things have changed over the past 20 years, particularly in relation to the animation industry. Until the late 1990s, animation, including the Rocko series, was a labour-intensive process which required hand drawing and painting each animation cell. With the rise of computers, animation has become something anyone can do, even without skill. Throughout the movie, Rocko depicts your original fan who wants their favourite show brought back exactly the way it was, while the Fatheads series represents series such as Rocko's Modern Life, which have a significant fan base constantly calling for a reboot. Conglomo and the Chameleon Brothers, who were initially hired to reboot Fatheads, represent the modern day animation mentality and process, cheaper, computerized, and passionless. They created the CGI version of Fatheads, so it's geared towards mass production and consumption in modern day society. This is completely different from what the pre-existing fan base wants, but to an extent necessary in a world that has evolved. Meanwhile, Rachel acts as a reference to the artist who acknowledges that we can't live in the past, because change is an important and inevitable part of life. Acknowledging that the industry, society, and the artist are no longer the same as they were 20 years ago, Rachel, like the animators of Static Cling, returned to their traditional artistry techniques to recreate the show as closely as possible. But even then, some change is still necessary to attract an audience. It is up to the fans if they want to accept that change or become outraged by it. Thank you for watching my presentation on Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling as a postmodernist comment on the revival of old animations. Please check out these references for further information. Thank you.